why not check out our website for our latest videos at wrestlingfatherandson.weebly.com, and don't forget to subscribe.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Wrestling Fun with Father and Son, and this is the Wrestling Rant. Right, basically this is a video series I've decided to do without Kai, because it's a little bit of my thoughts and feelings. Like I say, as the title says, it's a bit of a rant about the WWE and what I don't think is really working in the WWE. It's not to say that I don't love the WWE, I still do. I just think that they can improve some things, and they can make some things a little bit better. So I decided to do this series just to get it off my chest and share my opinion, and hopefully encourage some discussion, some comment, some opinion, some reaction. In this video I'm going to start off with the road to WrestleMania 2019. As I'm recording this, we've still got two and a bit weeks until WrestleMania, and I just want to share my opinions on what I think is how they think they're doing with the road to WrestleMania. Obviously the road to WrestleMania starts from the Royal Rumble and it goes through until April of this year. Basically I'm not too impressed with this road to WrestleMania in all aspects of it, to be honest. There's a few things that I've got some gripes with. I haven't got no particular order in which I'm going to go through these. Basically I'll go through them as they pop into my head. The first thing I'm going to talk about is Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's come out and said that this WrestleMania is going to be his last WrestleMania, his last match at WrestleMania. And the WWE has decided at the moment, obviously this is all due to speculation in the moment, like I say, we're 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, it can all change. But at the minute they are planning on putting him in the match with Baron Corbin. Now, my opinion of Baron Corbin is, I don't think he's very good. He has got no personality. He's not a particularly impressive wrestler, and I just don't think he connects with the crowd at all. For them to put Baron Corbin in a match with Kurt Angle, I think is completely and utterly, well, is it disrespectful to Kurt Angle? Kurt Angle has had such a celebrated career, and he's had so many championships, and he's had so many very good matches with people like Shawn Michaels, Eddie Guerrero. They're putting him now in a WrestleMania match against Baron Corbin. Now, to me, I said this in the week that was WWE video, that I think that they might be swerving us, and I'm hoping they are, and I'm hoping they give us an opponent that's more worthy of retiring Kurt Angle, as it were. Ric Flair was retired by Shawn Michaels in a very good match, and I just don't see how Baron Corbin is going to deliver a worthy match for Kurt Angle. Opponents for Kurt Angle could be, the name of John Cena has been mentioned. Obviously John Cena at the minute has no opponent. They haven't even mentioned that he's going to be at WrestleMania. So we don't know, maybe that's where they're going. The Undertaker hasn't been seen. Obviously there's rumours that Vince McMahon's not happy with The Undertaker because of some sort of red tape, as it was involving a signing. And he's not there, as we know at the minute. Maybe he could be the person, but yeah, I just don't think Baron Corbin is worthy of that honour, to be fair, to retire Kurt Angle. Another thing I'm not very happy with at the minute is Finn Balor. At the minute, Finn Balor's road to WrestleMania has been poor. He's been in a program with Bobby Lashley now. He's had the Intercontinental title. He lost the Intercontinental title a week or two after he actually won it. Now that doesn't make sense. Now I think they may be building up to a WrestleMania match with Bobby Lashley for the Intercontinental title. You can see there's a bit of dissension with Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush, as Bobby Lashley walked away this past week on Raw, and they might be working towards a sort of Demon King appearance against Lashley. That could be where they're going. But somebody like Finn Balor, who, to be honest, he's a main event star. He could be a really good main event star. They're just not using him, and especially in WrestleMania build-up, he could have had such a good match. To be honest, I'm not a fan of Bobby Lashley. I don't think Bobby Lashley's been used very well since he's come back. I don't really particularly like that sort of big muscular sort of superstar like him with a very limited moveset that's just powerhouse. And Finn Balor could have a very good. He could have had a match with Kurt Angle and retired Kurt Angle. I think they could have done a really good match, but like I say, that build up has not been very impressive at all. Finn Balor should be used a lot better than what he is. Another point is Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. The build up for that has been very stale. I think it's for Paul Heyman to come out 2 weeks in a row and have a promo about Seth Rollins with no physical altercation between him and Lesnar, just having Lesnar come out and distract Seth. We want to see them. We want to see them connect. We want to see them build up that rivalry. You know, we've got to remember Seth Rollins is somebody who beat Brock Lesnar and cashed in the Money in the Bank a few years ago at WrestleMania and beat him for the title. Where's all that? That hasn't really been sort of put into the story, and that could have been. Obviously, like I said, 2 weeks to go. They could build it up. They could really get the anticipation going. But I just can't see it. I don't feel excited for that match, although I do want to see Seth Rollins beat Brock Lesnar, and I think Seth Rollins possibly will beat Brock Lesnar. I just don't. I'm not impressed with it. I'm not excited for it. And like I say, they've got a lot of work to do to get me excited for that match. Another thing that I'll go to quickly is Becky Lynch and Charlotte and Ronda Rousey. Why is Charlotte in that main event? Why? You don't need to put her in that main event. Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey could have done that match on their own. They had a bit of a storyline from Survivor Series last year, so now they could have built on that a bit more instead of throwing Charlotte and sort of giving her something to do, instead of giving her a match against Asuka, which they had a match before last year, but they could have built on that again. They could have had that match again. They could have done it better. They could have had to build up the rivalry a bit more. You know, just to throw Charlotte into the main event of WrestleMania just because of who she is and what her second name is, I just think it's disrespectful to Becky Lynch. They're not really using Becky Lynch as well as what they could do. You know, she's so over with the fans. They could use this to progress her even more. You know, to have, like this past Monday, Ronda Rousey not really have anything to really do with Becky Lynch or Charlotte, and just have an angle with her husband and Dana Brooks and have them attack her security. It's just not working for me, and I feel it's very convoluted, and it doesn't feel very thought out. But also, like I said, I just mentioned Asuka. That's another thing. The SmackDown Women's Champion doesn't have an opponent at the minute. 2 weeks to go, no opponent. Why? In my opinion, Fastlane was a few weeks ago. They shouldn't have had Fastlane. It's just an average pay-per-view in between the two of Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania, and I feel that they've only had 4 weeks build up from Fastlane, and they're rushing it. They're really rushing these storylines to get them to WrestleMania. I just feel that they shouldn't have had that pay-per-view. They could have had 6 to 7 weeks build up for WrestleMania, and they could have done a better job. I would have been more excited for this WrestleMania than what I am. You know, we've heard the rumours that there's 17 matches. This could be the longest pay-per-view they've ever done. Again, 17 matches. It's on average a 6-hour pay-per-view. I feel sorry for the people who are going to be there watching it for 6 hours. It's going to be tiring. It's a whole person's concentration for 6 hours. It's going to be very hard for the WWE, and I wish them all the best in that, because, like I say, towards the end, if Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey and Charlotte ends that pay-per-view, what's the crowd reaction going to really be like? They're going to be tired. Is it going to be mundane? Are they just going to be not very vocal? I don't think it's going to do them any favours. I think they could have trimmed it down, and they could have they could have done away with some of the matches and had them at the next pay-per-view, or they could have, I don't know, they could have had them on SmackDown or Raw. Like I say, I'm not very impressed with this road to WrestleMania. I think back to WrestleMania 30 with Daniel Bryan winning both championships. He had 2 matches that night. The build-up for that was brilliant. That was the last time I believe that WWE was really on fire. They've been struggling lately, and especially with this WrestleMania build-up, they're really struggling. And I think it's because of the time limit. They've given themselves 4 weeks to really get these matches in stone, and 2 weeks in, some of the matches aren't set in stone. So they've got to promote them over 2 more weeks, and I think it's just the time limit's too small. And I think they could have done with doing away with, like I said, Fastlane, 7 weeks build up. It would have been a lot better. Like Daniel Bryan's build up was 4 months from Royal Rumble to now to the WrestleMania. Their build up was there, and the storytelling was a lot better. I can see they're sort of doing that again with Kofi Kingston a little bit. I think Kofi Kingston, they've already set that match really. They just haven't announced it. They are going to announce it probably next week or the week after, or it could even go to WrestleMania where they still don't have an opponent for Daniel Bryan, and then it gets sorted by then. But I do think that Kofi Kingston's going to have a match against Daniel Bryan. So that build-up's the one that's probably been the biggest. It's been coming since sort of just before Elimination Chamber when he got put in that match. So they've given themselves 8 weeks build-up of the Kofi Kingston Daniel Bryan storyline. So they've done really well with that. And the Batista Triple H, that's been sort of teased last year, and they're now building that up, and I think they're doing really well with that. I think that shows you what they can do in a few weeks. They could have done a lot better. So that's just a few thoughts about what I think about the road to WrestleMania and the WWE at the minute. It's a bit of a long-winded rant. I have to get it off my chest a little bit. If not, I'll drive my wife mad. and I drive Kai mad. So if you like, and you share some of the opinions that I have, or if you completely don't share them opinions and think they've done really well with WrestleMania and the build up to WrestleMania, then let me know. Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe. All the links will be down in the description, and see you in the next video. I'll see you. Goodbye.